where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with our second broadcast of the night here on Peacemaker Gaming as the Slingshot Sim Racing Series getting ready to go to battle here this evening. These drivers are getting loaded into the sim, each and every single one of them looking for the win here tonight in this one. As qualifying has come to a close, these drivers are going to hop out onto the racetrack in behind the official iRacing pace car and get ready for our start of the A main feature event. 120 laps of racing action here this evening for these competitors to duke it out, to duel it out, and to go to battle all night long. Welcome in as we get ready to put on a wonderful show for each and every one of you. Guys, are just tuning in, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to set these drivers loose. We get ready to go to battle as they will get loaded in, and you can see that 13 ride looking for the win here this evening. That is Braden Honeycutt. He's been on a roll here the last few races. This 13 ride has been very, very fast. We saw him pick up a win. We saw him dominate last week, not really dominate, but put on a great show late in the race and being able to beat the dominant car in last week's race at Bristol. So he's showing some great speed, some great momentum here out of that 13 ride for Brandon Honeycutt. And here he starts on the pole position at Kansas Speedway as we'll get ready to set these drivers loose. As Papa Mike, Michael Dickinson with the heart reaction, Kayla Roof coming in, smashing that follow as well. Kayla, welcome to the Peacemaker family, welcome to the Peacemaker crew, smashing that follow button. Troy Pittman, Carol Hainsley coming in, showing the love with the reactions. Andrew Hainsley coming in with that share on the broadcast and the like on the stream. How are ya, Andrew? Hopefully, Andrew has a good night here tonight in that 29 Dallas Cowboys Chevy Camaro here this evening. Ty Dickinson, Sweet Tea Gang himself, Ty coming in with that heart reaction on the broadcast as well. How are you, Ty? How are you, Mr. Sweet Tea coming in, showing the love here in this one. Is Mama Bear in the house as well, says let's go Dickinson, boys. Let's go Mama Bear coming in, showing the love here in this one as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go to battle. Starting on the pole in that number 13 machine, that is Brandon Honeycutt. To his outside in the 48 ride, it's the McNeil Median Camaro of John McNeil. Starting in position number 3 on the speedway in the Rob Co. Fallout New Vegas number 75, that is Willie McKellar. To his outside, the High Velocity TV number 13, that is Christian Delgado. Starting in position number 5 in the number 3 ride, that is Ira Cole, is there in the Dale Earnhardt Sr. throwback paint scheme. To his outside in the GOAT diecast number 93, that is Zach Lockett. Starting in position number 7 in the 71, that is Greg O'Berry with Russell Martin Jr. to the outside there in that 8th position. Sean Jensick and Bryce Dickinson bringing up row number 5 and rounding out our top 10 on the speedway with Christopher DeWald, Brandon Sanfilippo, Ty Dickinson, Andrew Hainsley rounding out our 14 drivers here this evening from Kansas Speedway as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Kansas Speedway as out in front going to lead us down into quarter number 1. Brandon Honeycutt and John McNeil door to door, but the outside lane paying dividends here on the opening lap as the 48 of John McNeil will take that lead down the back straightaway. So McNeil quickly hopping out in front and now looking to try to separate himself here from the rest of the field. Is it the dogfight back there behind him? Almost a little rewind here is Christopher DeWall gonna give a little bit of ease there and a little bit of a break for his number 19 ride of Sean Jensick to jump down in front of him. You see some sparks flying on the outside of the 20 ride of Russell Martin Jr. as he gets up, scrubs that outside fence, able to keep that car rolling here on the speedway as Willie McKellar trying to hold on and hold off that 93 ride. Unfortunately, a big run early in this race for Zach Lockett moves Lockett into position number 3 here on the speedway. Move Brandon Honeycutt, our pole sitter, all the way back now into that 6th position as there goes Grango Berry, gonna slide right around him. So already the 13 of Brandon Honeycutt sliding backwards is out in front. That 48 of John McNeil continues to lead the way as Justin James Young coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction, says, "Let's go Dickinson, lads, cheer it on." Bryce and Ty out there on the speedway. Mama Bear with the heart reaction as well. Carol Hainsley with that like on the stream coming in, showing the love here in this one. As Christian Delgado's able to jump up and take this race lead away from John McNeil. Move that 13 machine now to the front of the field as McNeil slides back to second. Here comes Lockett in the GOAT iRacing, or the GOAT Diecast Racing Team number 93 machine there in that 3rd position. You do see that 75 of McKellar. Then Fallout New Vegas ride working again to his outside as here comes the Liberty University rides of Christopher DeWald and Grango Berry. They're in that 5th position trying to track down our race leaders. Sean Jensick trying to work himself around that 13 of Brandon Honeycutt. Honeycutt trying to hang on to position number 7 here, trying to stop the bleeding as he's been sliding backwards quite a bit in these opening laps. Russell Martin Jr. there in 9th with Ty Dickinson in the Stay Salty number 67. The Sweet Tea Gang Papa Mike Promotions ride back there in the 10th spot on the speedway. Brandon Sanfilippo there in position number 11. Then we see Bryce Dickinson in the very beautiful Peacemaker Racing Team number 84 ride. The E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions. Mama Bear number 84 back there in the 12th position. The Dallas Cowboys 29 of Andrew Hainsley back there in 13th, and Ira Colis in that Good Wrench number 3 ride. Hard contact here to the outside fence for Ira Colis. Not sure when this may have happened. Let's see if we can take a look back and see when this 3 ride may have gotten this damage as Ira was up there battling. Oh, right there. Oh, man, I don't know what in the world just happened to that 3 ride, but just snap hook up into the outside fence. That is a dangerous hit right there, and you saw that damage on that 3 ride, but look at how quickly this happens here. Just all of a sudden, the car just turns hard right up into the outside fence. Tons of damage. See the hood flopping up right there, blocking the windshield, and that whole right front absolutely tore apart for that 3 machine. Parked down pit sign here for an extended period of time is at the front of the field. We get another battle and another pass for the race lead. The 75 of William McKellar will jump up early on here in Kansas Speedway. He will take that race lead away from Christian Delgado. Delgado will slide back now to position number 2 as Christopher DeWald here in that 3rd position. John McNeil back there in 4th is Sean Jensick in that 19 ride. Coming up behind him here in that 5th position as Jensick's worked himself around Grango Berry. Ty Dickinson in the 67 ride, going to work himself around Brandon Honeycutt as Honeycutt slides back to the 8th spot on the speedway. Now you'll see the 93 Zach Lockett back here as Bryce Dickinson working himself inside the top 10. So the Dickinson boys on their way towards the front of the field here is some great racing action as Sean Jensick and John McNeil roll down the front straightaway here into corner number 1 on the speedway. The 19 of Sean Jensick looking to keep on rolling towards the front of the field as now that 48 of McNeil starting to slide a little farther backwards here. Here comes that 71 of Grango Berry and the 67 of Ty Dickinson as they're looking to work to the outside of this 48 machine. for that 5th spot on the speedway as McKellar out in front, continuing to lead the way, but everybody still within only a few seconds of each other. They are only 2 seconds back between our 1st place driver and our 12th place driver out there on the speedway. So the racing action, you can throw a blanket over these drivers out there on the speedway, as each and every one of them doing a fantastic job early on in this race. A lot of clean green, elbows up racing, a lot of passing, and a lot of battles out there on the speedway as McKellar out in front trying to run away with it. DeWald now into second as Christian Delgado slides to third. Sean Jensick there in fourth as he's finally made that pass around Greg O'Barry. Ty Dickinson here in that sixth position trying to work himself around the 71 ride as well as Zach Lockett, McNeil. Bryce Dickinson now working himself around the 48 ride as well. So the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions ride trying to put himself up inside the top 8 on the speedway is Ben Bebo, my dad, coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction on the broadcast. How are you, Dad? How are you this evening? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. As out here on the speedway, so far, these drivers are putting on a wonderful run for us here in this one. Mystic says, I wish I could have made it. Go number 19. Yeah, unfortunately, we wish you were out here as well, Mystic. We wish you were out there on that racetrack battling with these drivers, but we're glad to see you over there on the YouTube broadcast, enjoying the stream, enjoying all the action here this evening, as now you do see a little bit of more battling here. Door to door is the 13 ride. A Honeycutt gonna roll around John McNeil. McNeil back now into the 10th position as Christian Delgado trying to hang on to the 13 ride as Sean Jensick and Greg O'Barry both able to roll around that 13 ride. Moves the High Velocity TV number 13 back into that 5th position on the speedway as Willie McKellar leads the way here in this one. McKellar still out in front, still trying to hold off that 82 of Christopher DeWald as DeWald trying to track him down, trying to stay right in his tire tracks, maybe catch a little bit of the draft off that 75 ride, seeing if he can get to his back bumper as Jensick there in third. O'Barry, Ty Dickinson now trying to work himself up inside the top 5. So the 67 ride on the outside of the 13 will move himself inside the top 5. Now on the racetrack as Delgado will slide back to 6. Zach Lockett there in 7th. Bryce Dickinson and Honeycutt right here in the 8th and 9th position on the speedway, trying to keep on working themselves closer and closer to the front of the field. Is still, again, you can throw a blanket over these drivers, man. They are putting on one heck of a show as you do see Ty Dickinson get up just ever so slightly, scrubs the outside fence. It'll keep that car pointing the right direction. Doesn't look like any major, damage to that right front or anything else for the Sweet Tea Gang machine, and he will roll once again around the outside of the 13 of Christian Delgado. Delgado almost got that top 5 back right there, but Sweet Tea able to keep his foot in the throttle, keep that car pointing in the right direction, and not too much trouble out there on the speedways. McKellar in that Volt Tech Fallout New Vegas number 75 ride continues to lead the way. Christopher DeWald there in position number 2 is slowly but surely reeling him in, starting to bring this fight at the front of the field a little closer out there on the speedway. Right there behind him, slowly catching these two, is that 19 ride, the Anything EC Sparkle and Shine machine of Sean Jensick. Greg O'Barry there in 4th, and Ty Dickinson rounding out our top 5. Christian Delgado there in that 6th position as the 67 gets very loose down and out of corner number 2. He's going to lose a few spots right here. Falls all the way back now to the 8th position. That's going to allow Bryce Dickinson, Zach Lockett, and Christian Delgado to get around him. And that 13 of Brandon Honeycutt. Going to use that momentum to move around this very beautiful Papa Mike Promotion 67 ride of Ty Dickinson. Here comes that 20 ride, Russell Martin Jr. Beautiful looking ride right here is the Hope Breast Cancer Awareness. Beautiful looking number 20 ride here in this one. Showing these drivers, there's a lot more to the racing than just being out here having fun on the racetrack, man. There's bigger picture things happening in the world, and many of the breast cancer survivors or anyone going through that, our hearts and prayers are with you, and our hearts and prayers are with everyone affected right now by the hurricane that just rolled through, most of the East Coast and southern portions of the United States, man. So many loss of life and everything else. Our hearts and prayers go out to them, and our hearts and prayers go out to John Fowler as well, the man with the plan, the mastermind, the guy who, brought SSR to life, the Slingshot Sim Racing Series here to the simulator. And I know John's going through some family things right now. There's a lot of people that are unfortunately, having some complications in that family, and our hearts and prayers are with him and with all of his family members, and hoping for the best outcome for everybody, and just some quick recoveries, and everyone, getting back, into good health and good shape and everything else, and hopefully can clear the mind for Mr. Fowler and get him back out here on the racetrack. But we understand if he's got to miss some time here and there, as man, he's going through a lot. The family's going for a lot right now, so keep John Fowler and his family in your prayers here for the next little while, ladies and gentlemen, as they're going to need it. Is out in front, battle for the race lead. We did see the 82 ride of Christopher DeWall get around that 75 ride of Willie McKellar, but now here comes Sean Jensick. Jensick looking to take this race lead away, as well as he's going to try to slide in front of the 82. As down out at quarter number 4, they drag race back to the start-finish line. The 19 of Sean Jensick will lead that lap. So Sean Jensick going to make the move and jump out in front there for at least a quick second, but the 82 battling back there to his outside. But now look out! Oh, contact! Hang on to it! I don't know how they didn't wreck right there. Oh my gosh, let's take a look back at that one as the 82 ride in the 19. Some pretty hard contact right here. Watch this 82 up on the outside lane. He's going to get up and scrub that wall right there. Pretty good contact. Bounces off the wall and right over the nose of Sean Jensick. Now watch Jensick save this ride right here. I thought he was going around right in front of Greg O'Berry and William McKellar even a couple more times as he's trying to catch that car. He's wiggling it and sliding up the speedway, and somehow or another they're all able to avoid him. He's able to keep that car pointed in the right direction, and we stay clean and green out there on the speedway, man. Absolutely fantastic racing here this evening as DeWalt is able to hang in on to the race lead. Hopefully not too much damage there after he got up into the wall here this evening, as the 82 got a good piece of that right there. And you do see Greg O'Berry's teammate now into the fence here himself. It was almost deja vu out at corner number 2 on the speedway as Greg O'Berry up into the fence. The 19 ride trying to work down low underneath of him, as here comes Christian Delgado trying to storm back. Same with Brandon Honeycutt. The 75 of McKellar sliding back now to the 6th position as the 93 Zach Lockett there in 7th. Bryce Dickinson in the 8th position on the speedway with John McNeil and Russell Martin Jr. rounding out our top 10. Brandon Sanfilippo there in 11th with Ty Dickinson and Drew Hainsley bringing up the rear of the field here as Ira Cole is in that Dale Earnhardt Sr. 3 machine. The Good Wrench ride still down pit side, getting extensive repairs done to that 3 machine as the 82 of Christopher DeWald continues to lead the way. You see that 19 ride trying to rebound after that contact that he had with the 82 ride. Trying to rebound, trying to reel him back in, see if he can make another big run, see if he can make another big drive to try and get himself back here to the front of the field. Some great racing all around the speedway as Carol Hainsley says thoughts and prayers are with you all. Absolutely, absolutely, Carol. As Charles Barnes, my boy Charles, coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. Colton Manich coming in as well. How are you, Colton? How are you, Charles? Coming in, showing the love here in this one. Dropping those reactions. How are you, fellas? Hope you guys are having yourselves a wonderful evening here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button here, as we're already almost 30 laps into this race. We're almost a quarter of the way through here this evening, man. It's absolutely insane how quickly things are moving out here on the speedway, how quickly these drivers are laying down these laps out there on the racetrack and continue to battle at such good speeds out there. But already we're starting to see those tire fall offs starting to come up pretty good here. You see a lot of these drivers, a lot of these competitors, you know, they've been rolling out here. We saw some early on go to the front of the field, and they fell back, and then we saw more drivers go to the front. Now they're kind of following back here, so it's a little bit of give and take out there on the speedway, especially when it comes to the tire wear game here on the racetrack. And right now you do see Christian Delgado, Brandon Honeycutt, Zach Lockett. They're starting to roll back towards the front of the field here as the tires for Grego Berry, William McKellar starting to fall off a little bit. Same with the Dickinsons, starting to fall off a little bit. Bryce back now to the 9th spot as McNeil trying to work himself back around the 84 ride. Ty Dickinson back there in 12th as you do see the 3 machine Ira Colas back out onto the racetrack here. So Ira will have a newer set of tires on than the 67, and you'll see that 3 ride being able to use these tires, especially on corner exit. That's where they're going to make up a ton of ground. Being able to get onto the throttle a little bit earlier, a little bit harder, being able to carry that speed and momentum around the speedway with those newer tires is going to pay off here. Is that 3 ride going to roll around the 67 as we do see Andrew Ainsley. I don't know what the heck was going on right there, but Andrew unfortunately blinking quite a bit out there on the racetrack, and Racing trying to pick up where he is or where he's not on the speedway and create a crazy little look here as we do see that 19 of Sean Jensick once again back down low, and he will get this race lead back away from the 82 of Christopher DeWalt. We saw him quickly snag that race lead away from the 82, but able to work himself back here into the lead and clear that 82 this time. So Jensick out in front. The Anything EC Sparkle and Shine ride at the front of the field as Christopher DeWalt there in second. Christian Delgado there in third with Brandon Honeycutt. Zach Lockett, our top 5 here on the speedway is Grego Berry, William McKellar, John McNeil, Bryce Dickinson, Brandon Sanfilippo round out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Russell Martin Jr. there in 11th, Ty Dickinson there in 12th, and Andrew Ainsley in that 13th spot rolling on the speedway, and Ira Colas back out there in that 3 ride, currently scored in the 14th spot, and I don't even know, 12 laps down, multiple laps down here for that 3 machine as out in front, Jensick leads the way. Delgado now in tow as he rolls around Christopher DeWalt here. DeWalt back now into position number 3, and he's at risk of sliding even further back as here comes Honeycutt back up into that 3rd spot. He will clear the 82 down and out of quarter number 2, and we do see the front 3 changing quite a bit here over the last couple laps as Sean Jensick leading the way. Delgado now in second, and Honeycutt back up into 3rd here as Honeycutt bounces it off the outside wall, is down across the line. These drivers will click off another lap here at the Speedway. Beautiful Kansas Speedway is 35 laps into this race out of 120 laps here this evening, meaning that we got 85 laps of racing action left here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. You guys don't want to miss a single moment of it as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, you guys know what to do. Crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver. So crank up that volume and cheer them on right now in that comment section. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session right there as you get all the sights and sounds around the beautiful Kansas Speedway here this evening as these drivers duking it out there on the speedway. At the front of the field, it is that 13 machine of Christian Delgado. Delgado able to jump back up, take this race lead away from the 19 of Sean Jensick. Jensick now sliding back to position number 3 here on the speedway. See these drivers all battling right here together. That is our top 3 out there on the speedway, and the 67 of Ty Dickinson, who's currently right now being scored a lap down, looking to try to maybe race his way back onto the lead lap, or maybe get that lucky dog in back onto the lead lap here this evening as the 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley. He's the next driver at risk of potentially going a lap down out there on the speedway. The 29 ride currently rolling in that 12th position, but our race leaders are right here behind him. But it's all Christian Delgado here at the front of the field. Honeycutt right there behind him. That number 19 to Sean Jensick there in position number 3 as Mushmouth TB coming in showing the love over there on YouTube. How are you, Mushmouth? How you doing this evening? Hope you're having yourself a wonderful day. In Madison coming in showing the love as well. Maddie, how are you? Coming in showing the love here in this one as well. Says go San Felipe. And hello in the chat. How are you, Madison? How are you, Maddie? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday here this evening as out in front, Christian Delgado, Brandon Honeycutt, and Sean Jensick, our top 3 here on the speedway. The 93 is Zach Lockett there in position number 4, looking for more as John McNeil finds himself a way back up inside the top 5. Christopher DeWall there in 6 with Grango Berry back in 7th. William McKellar, Bryce Dickinson, Brandon Sanfilippo, Russell Martin Jr., Andrew Hainsley, Ty Dickinson, Ira Cole is our top 14 out there on the speedway as 14 drivers took that green flag. 14 drivers still roll out there on the racetrack as out in front they're all trying to chase down, trying to figure out a way to get around this number 13 as Delgado has himself at the front of the field looking to try to pick up the win here at Kansas Speedway, looking to try to punch his ticket straight on through to the next round of our Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoffs here this evening. Can he get it done? Can he find a way up and into victory lane, or will one of these other drivers find a way to beat him here this evening? A lot of different drivers have led laps. We saw, obviously, McNeil lead some laps early in this race. We saw Jensick at the front of the field. Brandon Honeycutt was able to lead. Well, actually, Brandon Honeycutt hasn't led any laps yet today, but he started on the pole, and he's looking bound to try to jump up here and maybe take this race lead away from that 13 machine. We saw Christopher DeWall lead some laps. Greg O'Berry got close to the front of the field. McKellar led some laps early in this race as well. So we've seen a lot of different drivers out in front here, showing them how to get it done here at Kansas Speedway, and it may come down to, maybe a caution flag. Maybe this one will say clean and green the whole time. As Mushmouth says, Frets for Pets told me to tune in. Let's go, Frets for Pets, showing the love here this evening as Justin Young says, keep it up. Dickinson's cheered on those Dickinsons out there on the speedway for our crank it up. Andrew Hainsley, number 29, you have this hammered down, says Carol Hainsley in the comment section. Matt Taylor, my boy Matty, coming in, showing the love as well, says good luck, Ty and Bryce Dickinson. And Mama Bear says, come on, Dickinson boys, cheering on the boys here as we start to see some green flag pit stops starting to roll here. McKellar, Russell Martin Jr., couple of the first drivers to head down pit road. This could be a big swing here this evening. Coming down pit side, maybe a little bit early, might be the difference makers. Look out, the 19 rider, Sean Jensick, running into issues here. I'm not sure if he tried to come down pit road or if he just lost it coming out of corner number 4 right here. Looks like he's trying to slow up, and he just misjudges pit road here and unfortunately misses the entrance point here. The pit lane gets slow on the racetrack. That's going to cost him massively here this evening. Going to lose a lot of time and a lot of track position out there on the racetrack as we do now see our race leaders. Christian Delgado, Brandon Honeycutt. Here comes Zach Lockett and the 48 of John McNeil. Wow, McNeil came in there with a whole head of steam and now door-to-door with Zach Lockett as they head down to their pit boxes here on the front straightaway. Sean Jensick going to make it this time down pit road as Greg O'Berry already down pit side. Same with Christopher DeWald and Bryce Dickinson in the 84 ride. McKellar, though, and Russell Martin Jr. were able to kind of jump out there first, come down pit road. That may be what they need to kind of leapfrog some of these competitors here this evening. Is Kevin Dimmy, my boy Bubba, coming in showing the love here in this one. How are you, Bubba? How you doing this evening as plentiful future? Yeah, we're going to just get rid of it. Them bots over there on Twitch, I tell you what. As Brandon Sanfilippo is our race leader right now. Sanfilippo yet to come down pit road here in that number 12 ride, but as he rolls out there on the speedway, he's given up a lot of track time, a lot of good laps here to our race leaders as they roll back out onto the racetrack. We do see the number 13 of Brandon Honeycutt able to kind of leapfrog in front of the 13 here of Christian Delgado. So down pit road, the 13 ride and the 13 ride battling here at the front of the field and battling down pit side. Honeycutt was able to jump up, lead some laps here, and have that 13 ride in front of the other 13 ride out there on the racetrack as the battle of the 13s here at the front of the field. And one of those drivers that was right there battling with them and putting on a good fight here for most of this race was Sean Jensick. And now I see Jensick has actually left the racetrack here. So Sean Jensick off the racetrack. He's down behind pit wall here, so I'm not sure what happened to that 19 ride after missing pit lane. He's taking that car down back behind the wall, so I'm not sure if maybe going through the gears or what might have happened. They were trying to get onto the binders after missing pit row, but unfortunately that may take Sean Jensick out of this race. We do now see Brandon Sanfilippo down pit side in that 12 ride, getting some repairs done to it, getting some fresh tires and some fuel, and he's getting ready to roll back out and onto the racetrack here. As out in front it is once again that number 13, the 113 ride, the green and gray 13 of Christian Delgado, the black number 13, that is Brandon Honeycutt in position number 2 as they battle here at the front of the field. 1 and 2, they are separated themselves now by almost 4 seconds back to our third place driver, John McNeil. McNeil rolling there in that third position with Zach Lockett back there in fourth. Christopher DeWald back there in position number 5 with Greg O'Berry there in 6. Bryce Dickinson rolls in 7th with William McKellar, and Ty Dickinson our top 9 here on the speedway. Russell Martin Jr. there in 10th with Brandon Sanfilippo using that longer pit strategy, staying out on the racetrack for quite a few extra laps over the rest of these competitors. Now finds himself back in the 11th position, but with the freshest tires out there on the speedway. Andrew Hainsley there in the 12th spot with Sean Jensick off the racetrack, and Ira Koulis still multiple laps down for that 3 ride. After early contact with the outside wall, saw that 3 ride come down pit road for extensive repairs out there on the racetrack. But at the front, it's the battle of the 13s here this evening. That number 13 of Christian Delgado, he's led a lot of these laps. Brandon Honeycutt, though, staying right there with him, not letting him run away with it. We'll have to wait and see which one of these drivers is going to start to push the subject here. Do we see the green 13 of Delgado? Do we see Delgado start to try to open up this race lead, maybe use a little bit more tire up, try to give himself that little bit of a gap and a little bit of a breather between himself and Honeycutt here on the speedway? Or does Honeycutt want to push the subject here? Maybe make the other 13 run a little bit harder here, maybe burn up his equipment, or maybe try to get around him and vice versa, try to run away with it here and keep that other 13 right back there behind them. But it's going to come down to really how these two can manage tires, or maybe they just kind of hang out together and manage the tires equally here and both try to save as much as possible until, you know, maybe those final 10-15 laps of this race, and then really start to duke it out and see who's got that extra bit left in the tank to run this one down to the finish. As right now, both drivers not running the fastest lap times out there on the racetrack. We actually see our third and fourth place drivers starting to run down our race leaders here. John McNeil back there in the third spot. He was back 4 seconds when they came back onto pit road. It's down to about 2.5 seconds now between himself and our second place driver, Brandon Honeycutt. So he's starting to reel these guys in a quick hurry. And that GOAT diecast number 93 ride right there as well. The 93, Zach Lockett, in position number 4. And he's looking for more here as Locked In Lockett ready to try to work himself up towards the front of the field here as DeWald back there in 5th. Grango Berry there in 6th. McKellar, Bryce Dickinson, our top 8 here on the Speedway. Ty Dickinson there in 9th. Russell Martin Jr. back in the 10th spot on the Speedway. Brandon Sanfilippo, Andrew Hainsley, Sean Jensick, and Ira Colas round out our top 14 here on the Speedways. We do see Ira down pit side, getting that pit stop in here, and John Ross also down pit road. Unfortunately for John Ross, he is the race control here this evening. We used to see that 44 ride roll here with these drivers, but taking a step back from being a driver in the series and being the race control, the eyes in the skies to make all the right calls and to throw the caution flags and to keep an eye and keep control of all these drivers out there on the Speedway. So a tough break not seeing that 44 out there on the Speedway each and every single one of these Wednesday races for the last while, but it's always good to see when we can see that 44 ride out there on the Speedway. And we see him here now every Friday, part of our MNT Cup series here on Peacemaker Gaming. He's in that Friday night series, so we at least get to see John race a little bit here still out there in iRacing. So good to see that, and good to see him still getting some laps in here. I know next season he's hoping to be able to take a step back and rejoin the field and be a racer again. As we talked earlier, said that he's a lot better racer than he is race director. So I'm sure he's going to have a lot more fun getting behind the wheel again and racing and competing with all these drivers here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series next season. As this season coming down to a close in a quick hurry, which means that the real-life NASCAR Series also coming to a close in a quick hurry, man. As Cody DeForge says, so suspended drivers get to race now. So glad I pulled my sponsorship. And that's up to you. That's up to you, Cody. I don't know anything about it, brother. I don't know anything about it. I just get told what to do. I don't know what's said in these races or what happens out there, or suspended drivers or not suspended drivers. I have no clue. It's Kevin Odelski, my boy Kev, coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Odelski? How you doing this evening? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday. The battle at the front of the field here. Christian Delgado and Brandon Honeycutt continue to duke it out here at the front of the field 1 and 2, but they got to be careful as here comes our third place competitor, that 48 of John McNeil. McNeil back there in that third position has closed that 4-second gap now to within 0.7 of a second of our race leader. Honeycutt's not going to wait around any longer. He's looking to try to make the move here, seeing if he can get back around that number 13 of Delgado here for our race lead. As the laps continue to click off, we get closer and closer to that checkered flag as they battle here down across the line. We see 78 laps up and onto the board here, meaning that we got about 43 laps of racing action left here this evening. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to see who can hang out at the front of the field here, who can keep the tires underneath of them for the next 43 laps, or if we will see these drivers, you know, maybe be forced to come back down pit road again, maybe make another, set of pit stops here this evening before this race is done. Or if we see that caution flag as these two battling at the front of the field, man, we knew this was going to be, only a moment in time before we saw them start to really duke it out there on the Speedway. Now a little bit of a couple slide jobs and some crossovers out there on the Speedway. Honeycutt looking to try to stay out in front of 13, trying to keep him back there at bay as they continue to race. You do see McNeil there in position number 3, reeling them in a quick hurry. As the GOAT diecast number 93, Zach Lockett there in position number 4, and looking for more in his Chevy Camaro as he's in that 4th spot, trying to join this fun at the front of the field as well, looking to make this a 4-car battle here at the front of the Speedway. As Christopher DeWall back there in the 5th position. Grango Berry there in 6th. McKellar, Bryce Dickinson, Russell Martin Jr., and Ty Dickinson rounding out our top 10 here in this one is Brandon Sanfilippo. Back there in 11th. Andrew Hainsley there in 12th. Sean Jensick off the racetrack back in the 13th spot. And Ira Golis rolling out our top 14 here on the Speedway. As Honeycutt at the front, trying to hold these drivers off, looking to try to make this 2 for 2. As we saw this number 13 ride up and in victory lane at Bristol Motor Speedway last week, he's trying to reenact that, trying to find his way into victory lane again here this evening and play a little bit of a playoff spoiler for all these drivers that are in the playoffs right now. They're looking to try to punch their tickets, looking to try to work themselves into the next round of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoffs. Fortunately, though, they got to try to jump up on top of the wheel. They got to try to figure out a way to get around this 13 ride and put themselves up and into victory lane as Christian Delgado rolling there in 2nd. McNeil, Lockett, and Christopher DeWald, our top 5 here on the racetrack. Now, there's a pretty good gap here between this 5th place driver of Christopher DeWald and our 4th place car on the Speedway, the 93, is Zach Lockett, about almost 5 seconds, honestly, between McNeil and Lockett out here on the Speedway as our top 4, about a second and a half between them, 1.8 seconds now, as Brandon Honeycutt starting to pull away ever so slightly. So Honeycutt saving those tires, but using them up here a little bit more than what Delgado may be. Delgado may be just waiting patiently here, just trying to hit his marks, run his laps, not use his equipment up too early here in this run. If this continues to stay clean and green and we see this race go green flag all the way to the checkered flag, you know, having that extra little bit of percentage on that right front or the right rear out there on the Speedway to try to have that extra little bit of speed late in this race, or the ability to kind of maneuver around the Speedway a little bit more than what your counterparts can, then that's exactly what you want to do. And I think for right now, a lot of these drivers trying to save their equipment, trying to keep these cars, you know, pointed in the right direction, but trying to just keep them from sliding around, keep from using up the tires too much out there on the Speedway. Because right now the tire fall off, not totally awful as of yet, so maybe these drivers just being a little bit more cautious on this run as they went to about lap number 60 or so before they came down pit road. So they made sure they got to that halfway marker, knowing that they were good on fuel, they're probably good on tires here. It's just going to be the race to that finish line, or if we see that caution flag fly. We see a caution flag fly here in this race. Any moment now, it could really change the entire outcome of this race, the entire way that these drivers, you know, conduct themselves a race out here on the Speedway, as it can really make things very interesting when you start to bring more drivers into the picture here, into the battle at the front of the field, when you throw these guys nose to tail and door to door out there on the racetrack with fresh tires and everything else late in this race. Playoff points on the line and a playoff, you know, advancement on the line for these drivers could make things very, very hairy. So I think right now a lot of these cats at the front of the field are hoping to just duke it out between each other, try to, you know, run this one out, try to see who's got the best tire wear, who's been able to manage their equipment here on this run, and try to find their way to victory lane and not have it come down to that caution flag and everyone back together out there on the Speedway. As Blake Tinnen, Blake coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Blake? Blake coming in, showing the love here this evening. How are you? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day here on this fine Wednesday afternoon, as some great racing action, some great battles out there on the Speedway. And right now, it's Brandon Honeycutt showing these drivers how to get it done. And the laps are continuing to count down here, as only about 32 laps of racing action left to go here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to jump into a very quick peacemaker. Give me crank it up. I'm going to get a quick drink into me, then we're going to get ready for our final 25 laps, or our final 30 laps of this race here. Is down across the line. 89 will go up onto the board, and these drivers continue to put down some great laps out there on the Speedway, put on a heck of a show for us. Clean and green here for almost 90 laps of racing action. Let's see if they can go clean and green here for all 120. You can out between each other out there on the Speedways. We'll get ready for our second Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Alrighty, another beautiful crank it up session right there for all of these competitors, giving you the sights and sounds around Kansas Speedway here this evening. As out in front and continue to run away with this one, the 13 machine of Brandon Honeycutt at the front of the field, showing these drivers how to get it done late in this race. He is starting to open up a bit of a lead now, over a second between himself and the other 13, Christian Delgado. Delgado trying to track him back down, as you do see the Goat Racing diecast number 93 ride here in that third position. The locked in lock it ride looking to gain a lot of points here in the playoffs, looking to see if he can try to punch his ticket into the next round here of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoffs this season, as he's looking to try to move forward a little closer to getting that final four and maybe an opportunity to pick up the championship at Phoenix Raceway later in this season. As we are getting down to it, the nitty-gritty here, the moments for these drivers to try to pick up a championship are getting slimmer and slimmer race by race. And after the next couple races, we will eliminate 4 more contenders here to make it a field of 8 for the final 4 races of the season. So things are looking pretty sketchy out there for a lot of these drivers that are trying to make it into the next round. Gotta have some really good runs, some really good races here, and already seeing one of our playoff drivers, Sean Jensick, run into issues. That 19 ride trying to come down pit side, unfortunately missed pit road the first time, then came back down pit side, and then we saw him leave the race. So I'm not sure what may have happened for the 19 of Sean Jensick, but he does finish back in that 14th position right now, as he is a lot of laps down now. Ira Colas, who's also multiple laps down here in that Dale Earnhardt number 3 machine. Back here in the 13th spot, we saw Ira run into issues early in this race, get up into the outside fence, no caution flag, came back down pit road and had extensive damage repair for that 3 machine, was down pit side for a lot of laps, and then finally got back out there onto the speedway, but stuck back here in that 13th position. Was luckily enough able to get back out here, and with Sean Jensick jumping off the speedway around the halfway marker, now going behind this 3 ride. So I were able to pick up that at least 1 extra spot here, with the laps clicking down here more and more and more. The opportunities for Ira to try to get another position or 2 out there on the speedway starting to look slimmer and slimmer, as our race leader starting to put some more of these drivers a lap down out there on the speedway. Andrew Hainsley in this Dallas Cowboys 29 ride going a lap down or multiple laps down. Now we do see Russell Martin Jr. already a lap down and at risk of going another lap down. Same with Ty Dickinson out there on the speedways. Ty rolls in the 12th spot. Andrew Hainsley currently scored in position number 11. Russell Martin Jr., our top 10 here on the speedway. Brandon Sanfilippo right there in front of him, trying to stay on the lead lap there in the 12 ride, as he's the last driver on the lead lap as of right now. McKellar in the 8th position, and continuing to battle here with this 84 rider, Bryce Dickinson. These two have been battling door to door and nose to tail for a lot of laps now. Little contact right there as McKellar gets into the numbers of the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions Peacemaker Racing Team, that Sweet Tea Gang. Mama Bear number 84 Ryan currently scored in that 7th position, trying to finish this one off in front of McKellar, but McKellar staying right there with him, as Liberty University rides rolling here in the 6th and 5th position on the speedway. That is Christopher DeWalt and Greg O'Barry. They're in 5th and 6th on the speedway, as John McNeil falling back now to that 4th spot on the speedway. Zach Lockett, they were in 3rd. Christian Delgado in position number 2. And we see that number 13, Brandon Honeycutt, still at the front of the field, continuing to try to open up this lead. He's gained about a 1/10 of a second or so between himself and Christian Delgado over the last few laps, so he's not really running away with it too much here. These guys are still battling hard out there on the speedway. They're still running fairly close and fairly similar lap time, but down across the line, we do see 10 more laps left to go here in this one. Now, does that number 13 of Christian Delgado have anything left in the tank here? Does he have something up his sleeve? Maybe he's been kind of holding back, holding off, maybe trying to save his equipment here for these final 5-10 laps out there on the speedway. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. See if he can try to track down this other 13, his counterpart, the dark side 13 ride here on the speedway, as the 213s at the front of the field. Honeycutt, Delgado, 1 and 2 on the racetrack. They just put that number 12 ride, unfortunately, there for Brandon Sanfilippo, a lap down here. So Sanfilippo now down a lap. He's currently in that lucky duck position, though. He's in that free pass spot. So if a caution flag were to fly, he could get that wave around and back onto the lead lap and back into contention here for this evening's win. But right now, that caution flag is looking very, very bleak, but this battle at the front of the field is not looking over as of yet. Honeycutt down across the line. The gap between himself and Delgado here with 8 laps left to go is down to about 7/10 of a second, and it's getting smaller and smaller. So Christian Delgado starting to track down our race leader here late in this one. Does Delgado have a card or two up his sleeve for late in this race? Can he make a run and find a way to get around that number 13 of Honeycutt here this evening? The duel of the 13s here in the front of the field as the 93 sliding a little farther away here. He is a couple seconds back now of those top 2 contenders as the GOAT Racing diecast ride rolls here in that 3rd position. John McNeil back in position number 4 and looking for more. Christopher DeWall, Greg Goberry, Bryce Dickinson, Willie McKellar, Brandon Sanfilippo, and Russell Martin Jr. are top 10 here on the speedway. As the laps are counting down across the line, they'll click off another one. Honeycutt still leading the way here with 6 laps left to go, but that gap continuing to shrink. 0.3 of a second. You can see that number 13 of Delgado right there in the rearview mirror of our race leader. This one is all but done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the time. Make sure you got your popcorn, make sure you got your drink, and get ready for a show as these drivers are about to duke it out here at Kansas Speedway. Honeycutt starting to push that car a little bit more and a little bit more. He's making a couple mistakes. Got up, scrubbed the wall at a quarter number 4. Lots of momentum down this front straightaway, and that reels in Delgado even more. Only a couple car lengths now between our top 2. Now Honeycutt into the fence. Here goes Delgado. Delgado gonna go around Honeycutt in the pass for the lead late in this race. As 5 laps left to go, and we see Christian Delgado jumping to the front of the field. Honeycutt right there behind him. We'll have to wait and see if Honeycutt's got something left here, if he's got something left in the tank. We did see that Honeycutt run get into the fence, but we saw him starting to slide backwards more towards this number 13 of Delgado, but he's going to get a little bit of a draft here off the back bumper of that counterpart 13 ride on the speedway. As Carol Hainsley says, wonderful racing tonight, everyone. Absolutely amazing racing here this evening for every single one of these drivers, man. We have seen almost 120 laps of green flag racing, no caution flags on the speedway. This time down across the line, only 3 more laps left to go. 117 laps so far here tonight, clean and green. We saw at least a few drivers come down pit road, make some green flag pit stops here. And it's going to come down right to the wire here. You saw that 13 all over the back bumper of our race leaders, Delgado and Honeycutt, 1 and 2 on the racetrack. Down and out at quarter number 4. They'll head down the front straightaway here at Kansas Speedway. They will see the twin sticks from our flagman, and 2 more laps left to go here this evening. 2 more laps of racing action. Can Delgado hang on to it? Can he pick up another win and punch his ticket into the next round of the Slingshot Sim Racing playoffs here this evening? Or does Brandon Honeycutt jump up, play spoiler once again, maybe find a way to get back around Delgado here late in this race and take this win away? And as they continue to battle, you do see that 93, Zach Lockett hunting them down, but I think it's going to be time running out for that 93 as the white flag has been displayed one more time around for Christian Delgado here from Kansas Speedway, as this 13 high velocity TV ride looking for the checkered flag in the Premium Series here at the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. Down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening. Delgado into corner number 3. Honeycutt right there in tow, trying to track him down. Can't get there. Is out at corner number 4. The checker flag will fly, and it's Christian Delgado who's going to find his way into victory lane here at Kansas Speedway, and he will lock himself in to the next round of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoffs here this evening. A masterclass race put on there by the number 13 of Christian Delgado, as a late race pass for the lead put him out in front, and holding Brandon Honeycutt off for the win here tonight in this one. 5 laps left to go. He was able to get that race lead away from Honeycutt, and that move will put himself into the next round of our playoffs here. And you can see he's pretty ecstatic. He's getting ready to burn it down here on the Kansas Speedway front straightaway as he picks up that win, a big win, a big ticket here into the next round of the playoffs, and he can take a breath of relief here, knowing that Talladega Super Speedway, the next race on the docket here for these drivers, then is such a wild card race. Anything can happen. You can have your playoff picture be erased and discarded in a quick hurry with a bad runner getting tied up into a couple of incidences at Talladega Super Speedway. So being able to lock yourself in here through this race at Kansas is a big green light for next week at Dega, and a big sign of relief if he does get collected in a couple of wrecks, has all that damage, has to take a DNF at Talladega. 13 wide's not going to care. He just doesn't care. Everyone else, they're going to be sweating buckets. This 13 ride, he's going to be taking life easy next week when we head to Talladega, as he is burning it down for you, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, Christian Delgado, here this evening, picking up that win and pulling the 13 ride up and into Kansas Speedway victory lane. We'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews as they're celebrating out there on the Speedway. We'll get ready to pull our top 3 up here into the booth. Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I got you, man.
Christian, brother, burning down the house here at Kansas Speedway is gotta feel pretty sweet for yourself here this evening, knowing that you can take a sigh of relief going to Talladega next week. You're able to get this win and punch your ticket into the next round of our Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoffs here tonight, man. It's gotta be a breath of fresh air. It's gotta be a sigh of relief, man. Take us through the emotions right now that you're feeling out there on the Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas, this is, I mean, a great one. Kansas is my home track. I mean, I only live like an hour and a half away from Kansas Speedway, so it's such a track I've spent countless laps practicing and just trying to perfect here. And yeah, that was just a ton of fun. Everybody, it seemed like the top 5 was pretty competitive. We saw at the start of the race, I knew that tire saving was going to be a big thing. I saw that we could make it on one stop, so we're going to split it in half. And I saw, some of the guys like McNeil and Greg and Jensick and all those guys and McKellar go up there, and they're racing pretty hard. I was like, I'm just gonna sit back and let them do their thing and sit back, save my tires a little bit. And then when they started fighting and battling, they kind of just naturally backed up to me while I was saving at that. And then it kind of brought it between me, Sean, and Brandon back there. And fortunate for Sean, I think he sped or something down pit road and didn't finish the race. But sucks for Sean. I mean, he's really quick here. I thought me and him might have could have been racing for the win here. But after that, Brandon had a better pit stop than me. I'll flat out say he beat me in the pits. He beat me out of the pits, and then it was just who could save the tires the best there. And what I think me and Brandon were doing, we're kind of playing a little game of chicken. It was like who was willing to back up more, and then Brandon finally said, I think Brandon finally had enough of playing that chicken game, got around me, and then it was just trying to keep him in touch there. I thought for a second that he got me beat there when he got to about a second and a half out, but I think the lap traffic really helped me catch back up there. And what was it, 3 to go there? He got in the wall there, and I knew I had to take an opportunity there. Even getting in the wall there, he made it a run to the finish there. And man, what a race here! I mean, I honestly came in here, thinking I needed to win here, and luckily we did. It's such a great feeling to be locked in the next round.
Absolutely. Being able to get locked in, being able to have that, a nice and easy race at Talladega is always a blessing. Not a lot of drivers can be in that position, and there's going to be a lot of them that are still in the playoffs next week that roll into Talladega with a big question mark. You never know how those races are going to play out. You never know if you're going to get collected in the big one there at Talladega Super Speedway. So being able to take yourself, out of the picture of worrying about the points or anything else. You can kind of just go out there, have some fun, maybe try to earn some more playoff points to help lock yourself into that Final Four race at Phoenix Raceway in a few short weeks from now. About 5 more races left in the season, so this one's coming to a close in a quick hurry. But Christian, you talked about, you and the other 13 rider, Brandon Honeycutt, battling out there on the racetrack. Obviously, we saw you guys come out of pit lane right there together. He was able to beat you out, and then, as you said, that cat and mouse game. It was all about, who can save the most and who wanted to go first. And I think, that 13 of Honeycutt started to really see, John McNeil and Zach Lockett reeling into his back bumper. And I think when he kind of saw those guys start to close that gap, he kind of got a little bit nervous there and started to just put the hammer down. And that's when he went up, got around you, and started to pull away there. And I think maybe just a few laps too early of burning his equipment up.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely saw McNeil and Zach coming. It seems like Zach's really good at these mile and a half, so I'll give him that. I mean, I know he had a couple of bad races at these shorter tracks, but I'll give Zach the benefit of the doubt. He's wicked quick at these mile and a halves. And yeah, I saw John and Zach come up here and was catching, but I was like, I mean, I know I was still hardcore saving, trying to manage the run there. So I was like I wanted to keep the lead, keep the clean air, and save the tires better because undoubtedly when you have the clean air, you can save tires a lot easier than when you got a guy in front of you, especially as close as me and Brandon ran all week. I mean, all race. And yeah, I mean, I was content letting him run around there, and then around lap around 25 to go, I was like, okay, we really got to go. We gotta go down there and run him down. And then, like I said, luckily, I think some lap traffic kind of held him up a little bit and forced him to use up his stuff a little bit more, getting around the lap traffic. I got pretty lucky when it came to getting around those guys because I was kind of ripping the wall the whole time versus Brandon, who was kind of running the bottom and kind of had to be at the dismay of the lap cars to kind of give him the room there versus the top where I can just kind of roll around them on the top and just pray that they don't get into me off exit. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. I was definitely pushing as hard as I could towards the end there, and I guess I don't know if Brandon just pushed himself a little bit too hard or if he was looking in the mirror trying to get away from me and just made a mistake. But I mean, I told him over the VC before we got in here. I mean, that's probably some of the most fun racing I've had here at Kansas. I'm not a big night guy here at Kansas. I love running in the day here. You saw me run, I think P3 here earlier in the season. I love the day here and wasn't really looking forward to nighttime here, but that was a lot of fun. Those last 30 laps here.
Absolutely, a lot of fun, a lot of great racing out there on the speedway, and you're able to pick up the win and punch your ticket into the next round of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoffs here tonight. Christian, congratulations on the great run, congratulations on the great drive. Who would you like to thank here for such a great performance on the evening here tonight?
Well, yeah, first of all, I have to give a huge shout out to the Sim Motion guys. You know, Leroy, Jackson Carr, Kenny Real came in here and raced a couple of races. Um, and John Ross, when he raced his couple of races before he kind of got promoted to the running the league here. But also have to give a huge shout out to my sponsors, Track Racer, Bully Dot Coffee Company. Thank you, Patrick, for everything you do and allowing me to put my stuff on your car. Uh, High Velocity TV. Please go subscribe to High Velocity TV over on YouTube. We are another broadcasting network, uh, and we'd really appreciate the love of there. Also, have to give a huge shout out to the folks over at Twitch.tv/Christian Boss 13. So go drop a follow over there as well if you'd like. We're streaming over there, whether it's broadcasting or me racing here and Slingshot almost every week here. We're live doing something. Also have to give a huge shout out to Steel Car Detailing. Thank you, Titan, for everything you do. Shout out to the Beam Team. Thank you, Jeff, Peter, Soli, Poppy, Jackson, and everybody over there for being a part of everything that I do here and making me a better person every day and day out here. Have to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of the league, Scary Strokes, anything EC, and everybody who helps out with that part of the league. I mean, a lot of those guys don't even get the credit that they get. You know, Sweet Tea Gang and everything else for everything they do. But Crack Motorsports, they don't get a lot of shout outs here, and I feel like that's deserved. I know John Fowler's not here, but I know he's got a nephew, or I think a nephew that he's going through some heart problems and stuff. I know John can't make it. I mean, I know John can't make it here, and I know also he had a family member get hit by a car. So we're praying for him and praying for everything that he's doing here. You know, he was the one who started this league off, and he means a lot to me as a friend and as a sim motion guy, but also as just a racer on the track. Lastly, got to give a huge shout out to the admins, John Ross, Ron Luzzi, and Russell. You know, they do a heck of a good job off the track doing everything and making this league go around. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I don't think this league would be as good as it is now. But lastly, Aaron, I got to give a huge shout out to you, man. Doing a heck of a job putting on the broadcast and doing everything here as a broadcaster for this league myself. It's always nice to come back and learn from you and just watch back on the broadcast because and do some homework and stuff like that. But we all appreciate what you're doing here, Aaron, and couldn't do it without you.
I appreciate that, brother. And we couldn't do without you guys out there on the Speedway each and every week, putting on these amazing shows for us. Christian, congratulations on another good show here tonight in this one, man, and another big win for that 13 machine. And hopefully, you know, we'll see you maybe back up in the victory lane next week at Talladega, or maybe, you know, a bit of a momentum builder here again for you, and, you know, another little bit of a fresh air breather in your lungs, knowing that you're into the next round. Now you can really focus on those 3 races before our final championship race of the season, man. And we can't wait to see how it all plays out. And, you know, can't wait to see you possibly, you know, getting that ticket into the next round as well into our championship 4 and battling for that championship at Phoenix.
Yeah. I'll say this one where like it's such a relief. I don't have teammates going into Talladega, so going in, knowing that I'm locked in, I can kind of ride around or be aggressive as I need to try to win another one and kind of put some of these guys a leg behind. But yeah, can't wait for Talladega. I mean, you know, it's going to be chaotic, and I love the super speedway races we won here at Daytona at the season opener. So hopefully we can get up there and compete for a win up there next week.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack. Congratulations again on the win here in this one at Kansas Speedway. And we can't wait to hopefully get you back up here in the broadcast booth very soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, buddy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Christian Delgado. As Delgado got that webcam on for us, a huge thank you for him for doing that, as well as, man, oh man, what a run, what a race, and what a battle out there on the Speedway. As Mama Bear says, good job, Aaron, you are the best. I appreciate that, Mama Bear. Mike Give coming in with that like on the stream as well. How are you, Mike? Mike coming in, dropping that thumbs up on the broadcast as well. And Dave Organic Blog Web coming in, showing the love, says hey over there on Twitch. Hey, how are you, Dave? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday, as well as we get ready to pull in our second place driver. Unfortunately, our second place competitor out there on the Speedway, Mr. Honeycutt, I don't know if he doesn't have Discord. He's never in the Discord here for us to pull him in. So unfortunately, no second place interview here in this one, as Honeycutt is nowhere to be found. So we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, our third place driver, the 93 ride, Zach Lockett. We'll pull Locked In Lockett here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey Zach, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Hey, yep.
Zach, man, another good run, another good race here for you. As it always seems like you can figure these, mile and a half speedways out very, very good, and you get some great runs and great finishes here at these mile and a halves. And again here tonight, showing some speed throughout the evening, and having that 93 ride pointing in the right direction, and up here inside the top three, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. I always feel pretty confident on the mile and a half. Had a couple bad weeks here over the last couple weeks. I think I wrecked at Daytona a couple weeks ago, and Atlanta, the course of super speedways, and wrecked myself in the last lap from second place at Wilkesboro. So definitely needed this. It gives me some confidence heading, later into the round of 12, especially next week with another super speedway and then another mile and a half after that. So feeling good about the run tonight. Really just tried to drive on the low side of the track here, not burn my tires up too much, and was able to make my way through the field here, and it was overall a really successful night.
Absolutely, and that's what you need late in this season, is just getting those good successful nights, getting the good finishes, not being too flashy here, obviously not getting the win, which would have been nice, but I mean, you were right there chasing those guys down for a long time, and right there within striking distance late in this race. If it ran another 20, 30 laps, maybe you would have had something for him, or maybe a late race caution flag could have opened up a door there for you to jump up maybe a couple spots and find yourself a way into victory lane here this evening. But knowing that you're able to come home in third, stack those pennies, get those points towards working yourself into that next round of our playoffs here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. What's going through your mind right now, knowing that you had a good run here tonight? You got Talladega, which is such a question mark racetrack. You never know what's going to happen at one of those super speedways, man. How you feeling going into that?
Yeah, I feel like I said I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant just because of my bad luck I've had super speedways in this league. But I mean, really theoretically here with 12 to 15 cars in the pack, I feel like we should be able to run green flag for most of it. So I plan to hopefully be up towards the front. I got some great teammates here that I think we can work well together and stay up towards the front. And then really just going to have to successfully get through our green flag pit stops that I'm anticipating. Who knows, though? You never know what's going to happen at Dega, and come out together and have a chance to be there at the end. But as long as the Goat Racing diecast number 93 Chevrolet Camaro it has all four wheels on it and isn't too damaged there on the last lap, then I mean, I feel like I got a good chance to come home again with a good finish. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you guys duke it out next week and for the rest of these playoffs. Zach has a great run and a great drive here for you, man. A lot of elbows up racing here at Kansas Speedway, and a solid top three finish for yourself, man. Who would you like to thank for a great run and a great performance here this evening?
Yeah, thanks to John Ross, Ron Lousy, and Russell Martin for doing all the things they do behind the scenes for this league. It's been a great year. I know we're winding down here in the last few weeks, and it's just been really fun to watch us grow and kind of come away with a good core group of drivers that we have here so far, and looking forward to finishing out the season and regrouping here for next season. But thanks for them for everything they do. Thanks to you for broadcasting all these races, really entertaining, and put on a good show for us here and really highlight everyone's strengths here. And shout out to my teammates as well, everyone at Red Sea Racing and Victory Motorsports, John McNeil, William McKellar, Greg, and Chris. Everyone doing a great job there. So really appreciate everyone, and look forward to getting back after it next week.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack. Zach, congrats on the third place run here this evening, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next week, and maybe a couple spots better and up in victory lane.
Yeah, thanks, and another shout out to Goat Racing Diecast as well. Some great diecast. Check them out, and yeah, thanks.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Zach Lockett. Locked in, Lockett coming home there in position number 3 here this evening. Unfortunately, though, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here this evening as the racing action has come to a close. We will call it there on that note, man. A lot of great racing, a lot of great battles out there on the speedway. These drivers going back and forth and duking it out lap by lap out there on the speedway, putting on one heck of a show for us up here in the broadcast booth, and for all the fans in the stands, man, what a show and what a race by each and every one of these competitors. Huge shout out to everybody coming in, showing the love as well, all the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and to any of the new followers or subscribers, welcome to the Peacemaker family, welcome to the Peacemaker crew here this evening. Unfortunately, though, that is the end of the night, and I will catch you guys all back here tomorrow night for some more racing action and maybe something throughout tomorrow afternoon. Maybe we'll jump on and do a little bit more of the TCG card shop simulator, and maybe do a little bit of opening packs and running our store and doing all that fun stuff tomorrow afternoon. Maybe we'll do a couple hour stream of that and have some fun with it and enjoy some convo tomorrow afternoon as well. But nonetheless, we will be live tomorrow night around 9:30 Eastern time for our Southern Racing Association 358 modified. So make sure you guys tune into that one, as these guys will go back to battle. They will duke it out tomorrow night, and it will be a lot of fun. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you have that bell notification turned on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, baby. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.
Brooks, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary...